Did you see that video? Oh my gosh, I am stoked about this new Gladiator. I have to say that I wasn't a fan of when the new JL came out, but this Gladiator has been growing on me more and more, and now the Jeep drops the hammer, like Thor going to battle in the mid-size truck category. What's going on, Summer Lovin' family, and welcome to the first edition of Jeep News. Thanks for tuning in today, and if you're a new viewer, my name is JP, and this is my channel about my Sahara JKU build, Jeeping. I also video some of my family adventures, and now our transition into full-time RV life. I hope you'll subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell for notifications. And if you're feeling really awesome today, hit that thumbs up. It really helps our channel grow.
Alrighty then.
It's auto show season, and Jeep just dropped this sweet Gladiator edition in the form of the Mojave at the Chicago Auto Show. If you've been holding out on the new Jeep Gladiator, this might just do it for you. Except for what might be the price tag. Jeep hasn't listed any pricing on it yet, and it's also not available on their build page, so haven't been able to try and see how much it's gonna run. I have been on the build page numerous times building the Gladiator Rubicon edition, and I always end up in the $53,000 to $57,000 range. So I'm guessing this Mojave is going to cost a bit more.
Great!
In addition to the Mojave, they are also releasing a high altitude version of the Gladiator, but on this episode we're just going to be focusing on the Mojave and breaking it down. Alright, so what is in the Mojave package? The Gladiator Mojave package is Jeep's version of like a desert pre-running vehicle. It's an off-road package for the Jeep pickup buyer who wants to basically do everything, wants to go fast, is not really totally into rock crawling. They want to carve up sand dunes and tear down wash roads without getting beaten up. So it looks like the Jeep Gladiator Mojave is going after the vehicles like the Ford Raptor, the Toyota TRD Pro, or the Chevy ZR2 to name a few. But what is this going to cost the buyer? So we'll see. The Jeep Gladiator Mojave package has a serious go-fast suspension, has a really reinforced frame, heavy-duty axles, and a lot more. But is this price tag going to be too high for, the average buyer? In this episode, we're going to delve into what sets this Mojave package apart from the Rubicon package, and why, if I had probably $60,000 laying around, I'd be dropping it down and buying it right away.
Shut up and take my money!
Alright, for 2020, both the Gladiator Mojave and the Rubicon packages can be had with Jeep's 3.6 liter V6 engine, putting out 285 horsepower and 260 foot-pounds of torque. Unlike the Wrangler Rubicon, there is no 2.0 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder or turbo diesel option at this time. However, Jeep is saying that there's going to be a 3.0 liter eco diesel available in the V6, and that's going to be sometime around 2020. As we all know, the Pentastar V6 features variable valve timing and has the engine stop-start. I don't have that on my Jeep, and I'm not really a big fan of that. Both the Gladiator Mojave and the Rubicon are offered with the AL6 6-speed manual or the 850 RE automatic. And obviously the automatic is going to run you more. I think on the Gladiator Rubicons it's like about $2,200. Alright, so the Gladiator Rubicon package features the Rock Track NV241OR transfer case, and that's got your 4.0 to 1 low range ratio. The Mojave is using the Command Track NV241 transfer case, and that comes with the standard 2.72 to 1 low range ratio, and this is similar to what I have in my Jeep Sahara, and I actually kind of like it better than the 4.0 to 1. So the numerically sorted ratio in the Mojave transfer case allows the higher end top speed in low range up to 50 miles an hour, so you can generate a lot higher wheel speeds than the Rubicon. Alright, so the Gladiator Mojave as it stands now still delivers a very impressive crawl ratio of 57.3 to 1 in the 6-speed and 52.6 to 1 with the 850 RE automatic. You can compare that to the Rubicon, which is at 840, 84.2 to 1 in the manual and 77.2 to 1 in the automatic. All right, here we go. Let's get to the meat and potatoes, the axles. The Mojave front axle is beefed up version of the Dana 44. It's got the 10 millimeter wall tube thickness, and it also has the high strength cast iron knuckles as opposed to the Rubicon, which has aluminum weight saving knuckles. So they went with the cast iron on the Mojave due to the high impacts they're anticipating with the desert pre-running. Also, the Rubicon and the Mojave both have locking diffs in the rear end. However, the Mojave does not come with a locking diff in the front end. The Mojave and the Rubicon are both available in the 4.10 gearing. The Mojave is only available in the 4.10 gearing, whereas the Rubicon, you can get the option for 3.73 gearing. Just to recap what we got here, the Rubicon Gladiators package should get the front axle wide track, 3rd generation Dana 44 with 10 millimeter axle tubes, so beefed up axle tubes, aluminum steering knuckles, 4.10 gears, or 3.73 gears, which are optional, and True-Lock electronic locking differentials front and rear. So the Mojave has got the front axle, the wide track 3rd generation Dana 44 with 10 millimeter axle tubes, the cast iron steering knuckles, 4.10 gears, and the open differential in the front. So I'm not sure why Jeep just wouldn't add the locking differential in the front. You know, if I'm dropping 60K on a pickup truck, I want, especially a Jeep, I want the front locking diff. Especially if this is going to be my go everywhere, do everything Jeep. I'm not going to have one separately for rock crawling, so I want the front diff, especially if I'm going to be in the sand. All right, so let's get into the suspension on the Mojave package. So while the Rubicon is employing specially tuned springs with monotube Fox shocks front and rear, the Mojave is basically torching the Rubicon setup. So the Mojave features a different spring rate than the Rubicon, and that allows the Mojave to actually sit in a total 1 inch higher. So you'll have definitely no issue running 35s. The shocks are specially designed Fox 2.5 internal bypass units with remote reservoirs. And so on the front, they mount behind the front bumper, and they're going to be protected by a silver skid plate. So it's a real skid plate, not the plastic ones that we normally get on Jeep builds. All right, and as opposed to the standard foam cell jounce bumpers that we find on the Rubicons and normally the other Jeep Wranglers, the Mojave package features hydraulic jounce bumpers. They're not air bumps, they are hydraulics, and they have a special rubber sleeve over them so that way it prevents any rock, sand, and chip damage, and so that's really nice. So out back, the internal bypass Fox 2.5 shocks with external piggyback reservoirs are reformulated, and unfortunately the rear has the foam jounce bumpers. I'm not sure why they just wouldn't put hydraulics in the rear, just match the front. You know, make it complete. So as with all, you know, the whole theory behind the bypass shocks, it allows for a smooth, comfortable ride, small chatter, low impact situations, and just still allows for being able to ramp up dampening force to handle hard hits and landings. The external bypasses allows increased fluid capacity and 8-inch shock cooling for fade performance in extreme conditions. So everybody seems to be running remote reservoir on their shocks nowadays. And the rear springs on the Mojave package also feature a higher rate than those found on the Rubicon. The higher rate was carefully selected to work with and in conjunction with the bypass shocks at all 4 corners. So basically they wanted a short, smoother ride down low under slower normal conditions, and then plenty of high impact rowdy time like dampening when you're pushing it off road going really fast down wash roads or over sand dunes. All right, so finally the Rubicon package features the electronic sway bar disconnect. The Mojave sway bar is fixed and you cannot disconnect it. Not the worst thing, you know, you get yourself a set of quick disconnects or anti-rocks and you're in business. I know plenty of Rubicon owners who kind of hate the automatic quick disconnect because after a while it just stops working and you're basically left with a useless piece of equipment and you end up ripping it out anyway. So, are you sold yet? Who's buying one? All right, the frame and suspension of the Jeep Mojave. So the Rubicon frame is pretty stout in its own right, but I guess going 50 miles an hour in the desert on washed roads is a whole different ball of wax. So to cope with the repeated landings and impacts that the Mojave frame is expected to go under, they've bolstered it in many areas. All right, so let's get down to that. For starters, the front upper control arms, like I said, are increased in strength. Greater buckle resistance. The front lower control arm mounting areas have all been strengthened, but the lower front and rear control arms themselves are the same between the Mojave and the Rubicon. The rear bump stop cutouts on the frame are reinforced on the Mojave, as are the transmission and the engine mounts. The Mojave and the Rubicons use the same motor mount isolators and transmission mounts, but the metal on the cross members and frame to which they have been strengthened on the Mojave. Also, the Mojave rear track bar has a larger outer diameter and larger bushings and a higher strength tube than that is on the Rubicon. And finally, the shock towers themselves were also reinforced and strengthened in the Mojave. So this is one beefed up pickup truck. So let's get into the tires, the wheels, and wide track. So the Mojave and the Rubicon Gladiator packages both come standard with the 33-inch tires, 285/70 R17s, and right now Jeep are running the Falcons, so you can either get the all-terrains or the mud tires. I guess the really only big difference is like the Rubicon's specific polished painted granite crystal wheels, which are standard, and then the mid-gloss black wheels is an option. The Mojave wheels feature a special 7.5 millimeter shallower back spacing that punches the wheelbase out 15 millimeters. So you get a little bit of a wider stance on the Mojave. And they did this because they needed the extra clearance for the front shock package, and it also gives you a greater, not greater, but let's say an increased stability at off-roading speeds. And you're also sitting an inch taller, so you look a lot more aggressive and it looks better. So color-wise, the Mojave wheels come standard in the low gloss black or polished painted black.
Great!
The Mojave just looks like a sick Gladiator pickup truck. You'll notice like some little detailing things that Jeep has done on the Mojave from the Mojave's new desert rated badge. Just as the Rubicon made the red tow hooks, the all steel winch ready bumpers, like kind of synonymous with that Rubicon package, Mojave now has its own list of items that are going to make it its own Gladiator truck and its own line. So now the Mojave features special orange colored tow hooks and orange accents throughout the whole vehicle. One of the other things, the Mojave features a special hood which looks like the diesel JL hood, but it has a non-functioning vent in it. Yeah, I'm not sure why they did that, but apparently I think Mopar or FCA was saying that down the line there's going to be a kit sold that's going to actually allow it to start functioning. But of course, then you're going to have to pay more money. So you also get sand slider steel rocker guards. There's special cloth or leather seats with the orange stitching that is specific to the Mojave. And they've also changed the seats, so now that you're in a deeper bucket and you have higher side bolsters to keep you planted during hard maneuvering, or if you're just flying down the road on turns and stuff, so you won't go sliding around. And you also get a choice of black or gray interior colors, which I like. I never really was a fan of that tan that the Rubicons had. And unlike the Rubicon, the all steel bumpers aren't an option, but it does come with the Max Tow cooling package standard, so that's one good feature. I've never been a fan of the Rubicon red accents. I know I'll probably get a lot of flack for that, but I just was never a fan of the red. But I'm a huge fan of this orange and gray. It's actually kind of my two favorite colors. And you also know who loves orange? Aurelia. Aurelia loves orange, and I'm probably going to end up having to buy this Jeep for her. The Mojave features an Off-Road Plus feature, so that when you depress the button for 5 seconds, it will disable the ESP. And that allows your rear locker now to be used in 4 high. Anybody who has the Rubicon package knows that the only way you can activate your lockers is in 4 low. I love this, and this is kind of what I've achieved on my Sahara when I did the axle swap. My lockers aren't regulated by the Jeep computer, so if I'm in the sand and we get bogged down in the sand, I can put the lockers in 4 high and use the higher speeds to be able to try and get out of the sand. Pretty excited about that. That's really a cool feature.
Yeah, baby.
All right, so there we have it. This is the soon-to-be-released Jeep Gladiator Mojave Edition. Jeep says it's coming in spring 2020. It is February 14th, Valentine's Day, and as of today, Jeep still doesn't have it available to be built on their website. So we'll see when it comes out what the pricing will be. Woo! I want one. And yeah, it's sick. I gotta say, I'm really impressed with it, and I think this is gonna be the ultimate Jeep package. What do you think? Is this the ultimate Jeep package? Is this better than the Rubicon? And are you getting one? Don't lie. You are. I know you are. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching my first edition of Jeep News. I hope you liked it. Hit that thumbs up if you also liked it. And I'm hoping to do some more of these and get some more information about what's been dropping over at Jeep and any updates and stuff like that. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications when we drop videos. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Have a great day and happy Valentine's Day.